Alright, welcome to the inventory portion of the clip. Like I said in the last clip, I always do inventory. Just to make sure I haven't lost anything, and if I did, if I was valuable enough to go back and get it, hopefully I can. If not, I can make note of it to buy it, rebuy it again if I have to. And then just to organize stuff. So let's start here in the corner. This is some of you regular viewers that are not subscribers, and those who just started might get a little annoyed by my going through everything I own, but I'm trying to leave tips for any fellow transporters or anybody that wants to go out to do this kind of on-the-road life, whatever you're doing, traveling nurse, transporter, expediter, truck driver, anything. As to kind of what I discovered along the way, so that hopefully my tips and tricks will help you out on the road. And then that's why I do inventory on the video on occasion, is to let you know what I found that works and doesn't work. So name brand beanie I use specifically that has north face. That way when you go into a hotel or wherever that you have to, or you don't have to, but you should look the part with more name brand clothes like what's over there that I'll go into in a minute. You can top it off with the name brand hoodie. I have this generic, basically homemade beanie that I also carry around with me so that I can use it on like the Chicago subway and stuff like that, and I can look a little more homeless, so to speak, or somebody would not bother to mess with because they're not going to get nothing out of you, kind of thing. If you can, it's nice to have brand name clothing, but then there's places where brand name clothing sticks out, like on the elevated train, subway, they call it in Chicago. You don't want to be noticed as having money. As the places like high-end hotels that you want to loiter around at for a little while, you want to have brand name stuff so that you don't look like the bum. And then that's basically the summary of the two right there. Basically, brand name guy that's got money, homeless bum, so to speak. Anyway, moving on. I have a nighttime and a daytime toothbrush. I'm trying to massage my teeth more often, and mostly I just had the two at the time. Scissors come in handy for a number of different things. Work-related wise, I need them to cut zip ties off and whatnot else, other grooming and blah blah blah. Tweezers, same reason. Toothpaste, for the toothbrush. This is a handy thing I found lately. Lysol disinfectant cleaning spray. So it mimics like bounce coming out of the washer and dryer. Makes your potentially smelly clothes smell like you just washed them, even though you didn't. That is handy to have in a pinch somewhere where you haven't had time to take a shower or wash your clothes in a while. And being that I live on the road and I only have these what amounts to about 2 different outfits worth of stuff, and I end up wearing a lot of them all together in my layering system, which I'll show you in a little while. I tend to use that spray midweek. That way my stuff smells fresh again until I'm able to wash it. I went to a traveling size deodorant. Then I got a generic watch because you never know when it's just quicker to look at the time. Painkillers, or packing this stuff around in that 38-liter bag occasionally messes with my back. Phone case for this phone that I have now, but it's just representation of the phone in inventory. This is my tablet that I've had for a while that I'm going to put phone service back on and use it as my second phone. One of my tips and tricks is to always have at least a second phone or ability to call out to 911 in case your primary phone is just dead from use and something like, getting robbed on the subway or something happens. You'd have a backup plan that you can at least let people know. And then I switched to using it on a tablet because not that many people recognize that some of the tablets have a call feature where you can actually use them like a phone. And I specifically bought that one with the SD card for straight talk in it for that reason, so I can use it as a phone and use the data from it. My passport I still haven't used yet, but I pack around with me everywhere. 2 glasses cases. One is clear, regular glasses that I have on, right there. The other one is tinted glasses, because I have photo gray glasses that I just showed you that tint, but when you're driving behind a windshield they don't tint for some stupid safety reason. So I have permanent prescription shades, sunglasses. I carry forks and utensils with me because when I do DoorDash a lot, and more than half the time they forget simple stuff like your silverware, like forks and spoons for stuff that you need to eat with silverware, like a soup and stuff like that you buy. For some reason they forget to bring them, or the restaurant forgets to bring them, I don't know, but I started packing utensils for that reason because they come in handy. The dog collar is kind of weird, but on certain different box trucks, in the back end there's a lift gate and you can't tie your plate on anywhere else except for using kind of a dog collar type situation. So you tie this on to the lift gate, and then you tie the plate into it using zip ties, which I don't have at the moment, but the smaller zip ties that go in the gate, the holes for the plates. And that's why I have it for work. I don't have a dog, I just have it for that reason. Tape I use to tape up the decals for work. Decals meaning that decal right there. That's paperwork for work. The cane I actually don't use because I'm disabled or anything. It's because that is actually my cruise control. There's these Hertz rental trucks that I've been showing you in the last couple videos. A driver pointed out to me that if you take the top part of that cane off, the rest of that 3/4 section of that cane fits perfect between the seat and the gas pedal. And then you just gotta watch what you're doing, you know, and you can make a manual cruise out of it with those Hertz rental trucks going to governed out at 75 mile an hour. And as long as you're able to do 75 quasi legally, you can just jam that in there and basically make a manual cruise out of it. And I got it because we have a lot of those Hertz rental trucks to move. This is just the arm strap for that, which turns into a duffel bag or a backpack, which I'll show you in a minute. More paperwork in the plate. I always do 2 pairs of socks, so I have the 1 pair of socks on and 1 pair of socks there because it's an old hiker trick. If I have to spend the night outside or anywhere that's cold, those tube socks double as gloves, so I can put them on as gloves if need be. My $100 wallet that gets me comments all the time. Pair of hand warmers, because those hand warmers come in handy. You stick those, one thing of hand warmers in with my expensive $150 40-degree hiker backpack that's light, ultra lightweight. You put that in there and you can get down to about 35-40 degrees for a while with a hand warmer, helping to keep you warm in the bag. A stapler for work. I have the battery pack that plugs in to an outlet to charge, and then also is its own independent battery pack. And I have 1 regular USB and 1 Type-C, because that's a regular USB and that's a Type-C connection. I always have 2 different kinds of earphones. I have the wired kind on purpose, and then I have the Bluetooth kind. My Bluetooth are starting to give out, and that's the reason why I have the wired kind, is so that you can switch back and forth as needed, because the phone only plugs in the Type-C outlet for the headphones or the power outlet, but not both. So if the phone needs power, I have to switch to Bluetooth. And then when the phone doesn't need power and I'm sitting in a plane or sitting somewhere so I don't have the wires everywhere, I pack the wired ones along with me too for that reason. So it's just, that's one of the rare duplicate things I have that have come in handy a lot. Neck gaiter here comes in handy a hell of a lot because you can use it as a do-rag over your head. But you can mostly warm your neck with it, and you'd be amazed what a little bit piece of clothing over your neck will do in terms of keeping your body hot and warmer. Always carry a gaiter because of that. I learned that trick. 2 pairs of underwear, the one I'm wearing and that. The different hotel key cards, I try to keep these, especially the hotel key covers, because if you want to sneak into hotel breakfast, you can flop that down on the table, as long as, let's say, you go to Hampton Inn, and that Hampton Inn, most Hampton Inns are using the generic purple key card. So you just flop that down, and you make sure when you walk in the front desk that they have purple key cards on display. And then you go into the, well, normally you don't make a direct beeline to the breakfast. You go upstairs, mess around for a little while, and come back downstairs. And then you put the key card out on the table. Nobody's going to quite second guess you as to whether you belong there or not, because they have a visible representation that you supposedly do. And that gets you free breakfast. And that's the majority of the reason why I keep all these from different brands, so you can use them when they come up to properties. It also helps you to get in the door on side doors of hotels. Like, say, if I walk up to a side door of a Holiday Inn, this card is from a different property, let's say, but then there's a guy that's smoking there. I walk up there, oh, my key card don't work. Lets me in the side door, then I don't gotta go in the front door. Handy little tips like that. This is a generic plug-in USB in, and just as backup for that one, in case I need to plug that one in, because those Bluetooth independently charge. So sometimes I need 3 charge points. This I use because you can use it in the car or on the power outlet in the hotel rooms. This is handy to have for that reason. But I also have a duplicate because I have that battery pack that I like to keep extra power on hand for. I unfortunately lost my other battery pack when I was out in Oakland, California, because I accidentally left it on the dash of that one Hertz rental truck. But it happens on occasion. It's like the 2nd or 3rd time I've done that. These come in handy to screw the license plates on a lot, either flat edge or the star edge. And then I decided to keep them on a thicker